Hello, typographers. This is Rebecca, and this is your assignment to advertisements critique. I'm going to go over the specs and then I'll get into your submissions. So, for this assignment, you were to create a poster, a mailer, postcard, and 5 digital ads for your company using the logo that you created, keeping consistency and unity, applying variations to your designs. So, all parts must include the who, what, where, when, and cost of the event. They were to include the they were to include the logo and your specified branding. You were to create them in Illustrator and or in InDesign, and then you could add illustrations or photography if you'd like to, and you could only use Victorian inspired fonts, and make sure that there was no typos and everything was going to be compiled into a multi-page PDF with mock-ups, and then you were to also submit the big, large file of the poster separately. Okay, so the initial poster was 11 by 24. You could only have 3 colors max. I didn't want to see any black, any white, or any gray in your poster, so I hope you took that into consideration. And there was no font limit for these posters. As you can see with the example here, they just went nuts with the font, so I was hoping you would do the same. For the mailer, this was going to be a legal sized uh, uh, document. You were going to have the logo on the front with the dates and the location, and then your poster design on the inside, reformatted and resized to fit those dimensions. And then the mailing address is on the back with a stamp area and a special message. For the postcard, it was to be the poster on the front, resized and reformatted, the logo and greeting message on the back with the mailing address and the stamp area according to the specs in the module. For your digital ads, you were to have a 728 by 90 pixel leaderboard banner. So that's a wide, long banner. Then you were to have a 160 by 600 pixel wide skyscraper banner. So that's a tall, skinny banner that goes down the side of a blog page, something like that. Then you were to have a 250 by 250 square. That's just a small little square ad. Then a 320 by 50 mobile banner. That's a little short, wide banner that will only be on mobile screens, not on big computer screens. And then a large 1080 by 1080 pixel Instagram square. I don't know why those Instagram squares are so huge, but they are. Then it says they can be static or animated, um, but no sound. And if you're doing static ads, you need to lay them out in Illustrator or InDesign. All right, let's get into it. So first up is Hester's. I want to start with Hester's poster before we get into the other ads. Really great, Hester. I think it turned out really nice. It's a really great illustration here. And your logo looks good. Your information hierarchy, let me tell you what I see. So the first thing I look at are the characters because this is the highest resolution part of the image. Then my eye goes up to the logo, and then it jumps down to this area. I think maybe I go to Nina and Adrena third, and then maybe down here. I'm not sure. Trying to think which one my eye went to first, but it juggles between 50 cents and their names. Then I would read this part and then jump up to the date and location. So I like the use of horizontal rules. The texture in the background is really beautiful. So like the instructions said, you could only use 3 colors for this poster and no black or white. So I'd like you to revisit this and figure out how you can make this illustration be, just these other colors here. So I think what you could do is basically anywhere there's white or a lighter color, you could just make transparent so that this background color comes through. Right now, you have the background color, you have this orange glow, and you have, an orange here, and this maroon, dark kind of brick color. So I see that in their hair, and so I think I would be okay if you used like the navy blue, the orange, and the brick color, and then got rid of any other color in the drawing. Um, so then the background texture doesn't count as a color if you wanted to do that. So yeah, the only other thing that is uncomfortable to me is this part here with the figure touching the letters. So I'm not sure if you could crop that a bit or if you could adjust the letters a bit. I think that their name could be a little bit bigger. I think that that would be best if it was, the second largest text on the page. It might actually be already, but I think you could make it a little bit more obvious that it's the second largest because it's really, like I said, it's competing with the 50 cents down here at the bottom. Excellent. Okay. The other thing that I recommend is maybe putting 50 cents in the center here. And then if you wanted to put little like cent symbols in there, those two little areas, you could. Or if they have any other, I don't think they have any other little icons or anything. So yeah, I think that could work. I think the curiously connected Siamese twin sisters could be closer together. This line spacing above Siamese twin sisters is a lot. So reduce that line spacing for that second line there to make it obvious that this is sort of one paragraph. Just like you have up here, that's a good amount of space. And then if you make any changes to your logo based on what I mentioned in the last critique, then be sure to change it on the poster. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the next part. So here we have our ads. We've got your large square Instagram ad and then your small square. Okay, so let me zoom out a bit. So the Instagram ad is going to look about this size on our phones, right? So it's still a huge ad, and so this is a great place to include the image. So when you have, once you make your changes to your image to make it 3 colors only, I would add them because it's a compelling picture. And then I think that having your logo larger would be better. You don't need 50 cents in 2 places, so you can get rid of one of these and, um, just you also don't need well, I don't know, maybe you do. I don't know if you need the curiously connected Siamese twin sisters on here. Um, so if you do need to get rid of something, I would get rid of one of these 50-cent things and these 2 lines of text. And you might need to get rid of one of your horizontal rules there to make room for a larger logo and your image if you'd like it. Okay, and the image could just be like, from their chest up. It doesn't have to be the full, half body image that you created. If you wanted to just like put one face over here, one face over here, you could kind of peeking in. There's lots of options there. The square ad is about this size as well on a computer screen, so it's small. So we got to get bigger with these here, okay? So you can get rid of presenting um, and one of your 50-cent things, or you can get rid of both of these and have just the words 50 cents in the one part there. For this ad, there's not very much contrast, and you can see that the text is tiny. So I am wondering if you need that orange feathered circle there. Yeah, I mean, it keeps your branding. I understand why it's there. Okay, that's fine. So just make your text much larger. You've got all this space on the sides here. So that means that, you can make things much larger and wider, and you want to make that logo bigger so that we can actually read the traveler. See, now I can't even read it. Let me zoom in. Traveling Freak Show part of the logo. Okay. If you have I think you do have a horizontal version of your logo. You could put that there as well to save a little room to let the rest of your text be larger. All right, so these are good. And these are, let me see. This is about the size these are going to show up. So these are much larger. At least the leaderboard banner is about that size, and the wide skyscraper is about that size. But this mini, the mobile leaderboard is going to be smaller, so I'll zoom out when it's time to look at those, look at that. But yeah, like feel free to add their faces in, because that's going to grab people's attention a little more. It's also adding some more contrast and stuff um, to, you know, really pull people's eyes over to the ads. And then I think overall it's pretty good. Like I like the use how you used your real nice vertical version of your logo here. And you know what? I just realized this is your horizontal version of the logo. So that's cool. Okay. Um, this, once again, this stuff needs to be just closer together, these line spaces a little bit tighter there. And same with Egyptian Hall. London can be a little tighter. Um, no, yeah. If this is the same as this group here, then it's fine. This one just needs to be a little bit tighter. The Nina and Adriana in this font with no fill it's a little hard to read here. It was easier to read on your poster than in these ads. These one single 50 cents though, those are working really nicely. And as you can see, like those are pulling the eye the most. They're the highest contrast thing on there. And that's not the most important information. So just make sure that you kind of figure out what's the most important information and you make that the focal point of the ad, okay? So then with the mini leaderboard, that's going to be like this big, basically, when we're looking at it. So as you can see, it gets pretty hard to read Nina and Adriana. So I think I would just get rid of, I don't know, I think maybe use different font, that other font for the Nina and Adriana. And just see if you can make all the text just a tiny bit bigger. You are losing your part of your logo, but I think that's okay because you've got your symbol here. Yeah, so I think that their name is more important than the date and the location as far as hierarchy goes. Like date and location are obviously very important, but this should be the showcase of this ad since you don't have your logo there. Their name should be the focal point. Okay, great. And let's see what's next. And I will zoom back in. Okay. All right, so here's your mock-ups. And this is your postcard mock-up. Great. Square ad mock-up. So the square ad so Instagram will be a square ad on a mobile phone, whereas a square ad a square ad, the 250 by 250, that's not going to be this size on a cell phone. It's going to be on a web page on a computer, like on a like a computer monitor, not on a phone. And then the poster mock-up, this is what's called a banner up here, and so that's not the right mock-up for the poster dimensions. A banner up is like 6 feet tall by about 2 feet wide. So you'll need to find a different mock-up that's actually, a poster instead of a banner up. But you did a nice job on the mock-ups. Okay, so I'm missing the postcard layout and the brochure and the mailer. Okay, so I'm missing those two files. All right, thanks so much, Hester. Okay, so I just want to clarify for the assignment requirements checklist, which everyone should be going through before you hit that submit button for your assignment. It says to please upload one 2-page file that includes your poster with bleeds and crop marks, and then your trimmed poster. So if you do not know how to export a poster from InDesign or Illustrator with crop marks and trim lines and bleeds versus trimmed without all those things, then please let me know and I will show you how to do that. Then you need to do a second file that is a multi-page PDF that includes the rest of the files with mock-ups on separate pages. So this should be about 6 to 10 pages. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. I wanted you to upload 2 different PDF files. One was a 2-page file with huge posters on it. The other one was was a multi-page file that had your digital ads, your postcard layout, your brochure layout, and then mock-ups for all of those. Okay, so let's take a look. Beep, boop, boop. So next up we have Edel. Let's look at this one first. Looks like these are your digital ads. So I think this one might be your Instagram ad. Okay, and I'll come back and I'll look at them individually. This one is your leaderboard. This one is your skyscraper. This one is your small square. This one is your mobile app. Great. Okay. So the Instagram ad, I'm going to zoom out so it's about the size that we'd see on our phone. I'm holding up my phone next to it. That's about there. And that looks good. I can read everything. It's very punchy and exciting with these this yellow on the blue. The red is also very vivid. And so, I mean, I do see more than 3 colors here. But if any of them were going to be successful, it would be using those primary colors. They just really explode against each other, don't they? Yeah, so it looks really fun. It would definitely catch my eye, and I would stop here. I'm just looking at some line spacing and stuff. The line spacing here is a bit tight. That's really, really tight there. So I would give it maybe reduce that font size because you have room to still be legible. So for the New York, Las Vegas Hotel and Casino, I think you could reduce that font size a bit and increase the line spacing. Presents is teetering on being illegible, but I can still read it, and so that's okay. We have all of our information, so that's great. Good, good, good. And then starting at is a bit hard to read. It's like very squished. So I wonder if you even need that on there. It's up to you, you know what I mean? Like you're writing this content, so I would go ahead and just delete starting at and just make it tickets $49 and spread out tickets a little bit more. Did you elongate that? I don't know if you did. The word tickets looks pretty squished as well. I'm not sure if it's just the font or what. So, okay. And then, yeah, all right. And then any changes that you make to your logo or to the Statue of Liberty or any of that stuff from assignment 1, be sure to apply to all this stuff when you make all your updates. So now this is the mobile banner, and this is actually about the size that it's going to look like. So that's really tiny, and as you can see, we can't really read a lot of it. So you're just going to have to kind of figure out what information needs to be on there, you know. Maybe you could get rid of the word Monday and get rid of tickets and all that. You can just have $49. You don't need to say tickets starting at. Definitely have the word Mad Apple on there. I can't read what these things say at all there. And then I don't know if you need hotel and casino. Maybe just say New York, LV or something. You know, you'll have to kind of narrow it down. Okay. All right. Then this is the skyscraper. So that's going to be about this size. And all of a sudden we have some extra text here, like NYC's Wildest Night Out. And we have a totally different font. I'm not sure why. I'm confused now. So I'd like you to keep your branding the same across all of these ads because people need to see things at least 5 times for it to really register, you know what I mean? And we're trying to create brand awareness, so it's got to be consistent. All right, so as you can see from this, what to eliminate. We can't really read presents anymore, and we can't read starting at. We don't need the word tickets. I think you were trying to fill in vertical space, which I understand, but you have a vertical image here. So use that image for like half of the banner if you can, if you want to. And then, we don't need all this stuff up here, but um, you can also break up Cirque du Soleil so that Du Soleil wraps below Cirque. So that makes it a little bit more vertical. New York can be stacked. Las Vegas can stack over hotel and casino. But we want Mad Apple to be the largest, which you do have. But I would lead with that, unless you wanted to say like Cirque du Soleil presents Mad Apple or something along those lines. Okay, great. And then this is about the size that this square ad will be. So same thing, just go through. This doesn't need to be exactly the same as the image Instagram ad. The Instagram ad is huge, so there's lots of room to play on there. But this one, we really need to kind of filter some stuff out, or edit some stuff out, I should say. So I would get rid of this top line of text, the comedy, music, mayhem, and like I mentioned, the word tickets, and starting at, maybe get rid of Monday if you need to. That stuff. Okay, great. Great. All right. Now this is a mobile. Oh, was this the? I'm sorry, this wasn't the mobile banner. This was the big banner. So that big banner is going to be about that size. So everything there is fairly legible at this size. So get rid of starting at, I don't know. I think maybe if you can make brought to you by and at the larger, then you're good to go there. But as far as this one goes, I'm sorry, this is the mobile banner. And there's just a few things that aren't legible, like presents isn't really legible. All this stuff is fairly legible, but I do have to work for it as far as reading goes. And then same with tickets starting at, you can get rid of that. So yeah, I just trying to think of how to kind of rearrange this. I wonder if there's a different way to address the word presents. Maybe if you put presents over Mad Apple and just made that Mad Apple a little smaller. I don't know. You could give that a shot if you need that in there. All right. Okay, great. Then that's all for the digital ads. Let's see what we have next. So this is your flyer. I'm going to zoom in so we can see it. All right. I want to find your poster. Is this the poster? Okay, this is the poster. Let me zoom out. Yes, okay. Let me zoom in. Okay. All right, so let's look at the poster first. Good. So the poster looks good. It looks like it is three colors, except I see some white. So you got to get rid of that. But regardless, I told you a few changes that I'd like to see on the logo in the first critique. So just make sure you make those changes and then apply them to all this stuff. I think I already said that, and I'm sorry. All right, so this is fun. I like this hop on a nonstop thrill ride. So I'm just to tell you the information hierarchy that my eye goes to. It first goes to the image in the middle because there's white there, so that's causing the most contrast on the whole image. Then I think it jumps up to Cirque du Soleil because that appears to be the largest font on the text. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The largest text or font on the poster. And then second would be New York, New York, Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. It might be that I jumped there first, but I really think I jumped up to Cirque du Soleil. Then down to Monday and then down to tickets. So if that's the order that you want things in, then that's successful. But I think that you have a lot of room to make this logo larger. This should be the biggest text on the whole poster, I think. So, just keep that in mind. And then if you have to get rid of a few things, then so be it. You've got a lot of stuff down here, which I really like. It's very fun. I like all the different fonts. I think the hop on a nonstop thrill ride is a really fun line, but I don't think that font is really doing much compared to everything else that's all the other fonts and how they're working on the poster. So I would maybe change it out for another font that's here, if you want to keep that. And then we have like a lot of air up here, a lot of space between lines. And then this gets a little condensed, then we have like a big gap. So it's not feeling super balanced. So I think maybe condense some of the space up here to make a little more space down here to separate these three sections of text. Like they're separated visually because it's different colors and different fonts, but their line spacing is so close together. So give them all, equal line distance between these two rows of text and then these two rows of text. These three rows of text can keep their line spacing. They look good and it looks like it's supposed to be together. Let me see, Wild Night Out brought to. So this says NYC's Wildest Night Out brought to Las Vegas with, okay, got it. Okay, got it, brought to. So I would do a line break after Las Vegas to drop it down here. And I also don't think you need to change fonts on the same line of text. I think that's a little, oh, you're changing it all over the place. Okay, well, if it's all over the place, then that's fine. All right, and then I think starting out is fine on the poster because we have lots of room there. Great. All right, and these little hands are super fun. I like all these little ornaments. I like the horizontal rules. You could even add some more in there if you'd like down here. There seems to be a little space, so okay, great. All right, so let's scroll on back up. So we have the same design. See, this looks a little better. I think there's a little more space there. Yeah, this is working. Great, okay. And then your inside panels are in black and white. Okay. I guess. All right, so something that instead of this, I recommend changing this to something like more incentivized, like order your tickets between this date and this date to receive a voucher for free popcorn, or bring in this, or tear here and bring this voucher in for free popcorn, something like that. You definitely want to give them a place to, get the tickets, right? So I think that's a good idea to have the phone number and or the website on there, and you can have a QR code if you wanted to. But just make it a little more fun to really sell the show, sell them getting to the show. Okay, great. Everything else looks really good on there. And then here's your postcard. Looks good, nice and fun. Great. And your back of your postcard looks good. All right, cute. Okay, works. I'll take it. Excellent. Next, let's go to the mock-ups. All right, so we only have one mock-up here of the Instagram ad. So make sure that you find a computer screen for the other mock-ups as well as the web banner mock-up. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Not the web banner, the mobile banner mock-up. So you'll need another cell phone mock-up for that, and then like a blog website mock-up that has the leaderboard, skyscraper, and square ads on there. This poster looks good to me. I don't see a postcard mock-up either. The flyer mock-up is okay. Sometimes you can find these with two sides, so you can show your inside as well. And don't be afraid to, oh, never mind. You can keep it black and white on the inside if you'd like. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, next up is Emma. Here's Emma's poster. I love it. I'm crazy about it. I love the frame. I love the giant logo. It really is the focal point. I love how you framed the logo with these little ornaments here. Really beautiful. I see 3 colors only, which makes my heart cry with joy. Then after I see the logo, I go up to South Asian Night Market, then maybe down to Madam Lakshmi, sorry. And then toggles between Mr. Chatterjee and Oxford Street Saturday. So that's perfect. Really great information hierarchy. I love the different fonts. I love the color choices you made, giving this one a yellow drop shadow, giving this one a yellow fill with a purple drop shadow, and it's even like a lighter tint, it looks like, of the yellow. This is really nice with both colors inside those fills. Really pretty. Beautiful. All the line spacing is fantastic. I love these horizontal rules and how they're decorative. These little frames, down here, or like, I guess text boxes technically. But these ornaments are really pretty. So many good choices. Fantastic work. Woo, woo, woo. Yay. Great job. Good. So you have one version with the trims, and then you have one version with with trimmed. Now your second version with the crop marks here, the trim lines there, and the bleeds all the way out to the edges. Good job. Very nice. Now we have a little presentation. So here's the poster mock-up. Great. Easy enough. Here's your mailer. So you condense the poster a bit, which looks really nice. Really good job. And then this is fun, giving the 3 panels different colors. And this font is just so great. Everything's so eye-catching. Good, good, good. I'm just reading it. You're showcasing the spices and herbs. Garments look great. And then look at this incentive. Woohoo! One night only, admission 25 cents. Oh, never mind. I read it wrong. I was thinking free for one night only. That's what I thought I said. But I read it wrong, so that's okay. That's all right. It's good. It's important to let them know it's only for one night, so you got to go. Good job. And then this looks fantastic. Perfect. Yes, I love it. All right, let's keep going. Nice looking mock-up. Really good. Really good. Here is the postcard. Very official. Looks really good. I like the tiny little logo over there. Excellent. Really, concise version, and it looks beautiful. Still just like beautifully balanced. So good. So good. Postcard mock-up, easy enough. Really nice. I love the frame. The little, I think you called it a vine. Did you call it a vine design? Yeah, it's really pretty. All right, so here's the Instagram ad. I'm just going to zoom out. It's going to be about that size. Excuse me. So yeah, everything's legible and really pretty. It's a really like kind of stunning design. So it just will totally grab people's attention. I love it. Here's your mock-up. Here are the digital ads. All right, so this is about the size that the 250 by 250 will be. So that one gets a little harder to read. You may want to use the logo that I see that you're using these ones here. I think you had one that didn't have established in it. I don't know. And then, yeah, everything else is still legible. It's getting close though. It's like pretty small, but I think it's all right. Then let me zoom out just a tad one more time if I can. Okay. Even smaller. This is going to be about the size of the mobile banner. And so that's all totally legible. That's fine. Now I'll zoom in. This is about the size that this big leaderboard will be. So that's totally legible. And this is about the size of the skyscraper. So that's legible as well. So that all works. Really good. Perfect. I think I was wondering if like maybe you had room in this one to say your one day only kind of thing, but I don't know. I think it's fine. Okay. Great. You did it correctly. Oh, hold on. We'll get rid of this little guy down here. That's just for mobile phones, okay? But these 3 look good. This is a little big. Maybe it's not. This is 160 and this is 250. Yeah, maybe that's right. Okay, sorry. Okay. So you'll need a separate mobile mock-up for this little guy, like your Instagram one, okay? Great. Thank you so much. All right. Next up is Eduardo. Here's your poster. Really great imagery. Really nice. Okay, so, and I see 3 colors. Hooray! Thank you. So my eye goes straight to the figure immediately. It's very compelling. It's really nicely drawn. Very beautiful work. Then it goes to tonight, and then I think it goes to free entry, um, and then down to psychic readings, and then I just start looking at everything else, like between Sacred Hearts and Madame Nirvana. So I think that works. I don't know if you want tonight. Is tonight, well, psychic readings is probably supposed to be the first thing people see because it's the largest. I think it's just that tonight is a little bolder and that's why it's pulling my eye because it's causing more contrast with these, large stems and stuff, or wide stems, compared to this font down here. Um, yeah, okay. So then I feel like Madame Nirvana should be larger than psychic readings. So if you want to, it's totally up to you. It's really nice the way it is now. If you'd like it to be a little more clear on the information hierarchy, which is important to show that in your portfolio that have a really strong grasp on how to, show that. Then what I recommend doing is shrinking psychic readings to maybe even just being one line of text, like that small, and using the stacked Madame Nirvana, like where Nirvana is wrapped below logo, so that you can make it as big as possible here. I love all this small text. That's really cool. I love the little diamonds. This is a really nice way to separate these two things. So that totally works. That's nice. And then decide what's more important, tonight or free entry, and then just make their text size a little bit more obvious, the difference between the two, as to like what's the first thing we should be looking at, what's the second thing we should be looking at, what's the third thing we should be looking at, what's the fourth thing we should be looking at, what's the fifth thing we should be looking at, what's the sixth thing we should be looking at, that kind of deal. So if you can separate each of those groups of text by, you know, 2 to, I'd say, 8 points difference in size visually, then that's going to really help, you know, show the hierarchy better. Okay, but it's gorgeous. I love all the little flourishes, and it's all very ornate and pretty. The colors all look fantastic. You did a great job with the 3 color challenge. Yeah. So I don't see a version with the trim lines, and bleeds, but I do see this printed version. All right. Let's look at your brochure. So this looks nice. These thorns are pretty cool. That's a nice addition. And then I'm just looking to see how you did everything here. So it looks like you just shrunk the poster so that the height fit and then filled in the edges with more decoration. So I'm not like um, I understand the thorns. I just don't feel like they are going with like this over here that much. I do see thorns there. But your original logo is more angelic, um, and I would kind of stick more with like feathers and softness versus the thorns. Like, yes, there's a juxtaposition there, but I don't know. I don't associate thorns with Nirvana, if that helps at all. You do have roses, I guess. I just automatically, associate thorns like that with uh, you know, like a crown of thorns, and that just wasn't like the original imagery you were really using. So it doesn't feel like it's as inviting, as the original one. But that's just me. If you love it, I think it's all right to keep it. So just giving you my 2 cents there. Okay. And then here's your 3 panels. Great. This looks really cool down here. That's nice. And I like the yellow here as these. That's really cool. I think maybe the yellow here would be nice too, if you wanted to. And then we don't have any yellow over here. I am a little uncomfortable with the lack of padding, like margin between this fold and where this graphic starts. Um, and I'm just reading what that says there. So I don't know if you could shrink this frame a little bit so that you have some more margin. It's really close to all these edges. And margin is good because you never know how much space you're gonna, like for you need for correcting. Like if this fold isn't perfect, if the trim isn't perfect, that kind of stuff. Okay, great. Good. This part looks great. And then here is your postcard. There's two postcards. What's going on? Okay, cool. That's cool. I like that idea. One is like a collector's card or like a gift you might buy for somebody, and then the other one is the official, more official version. But this one doesn't say what's going on that much. So I think you do need to have Matter Nirvana up here. And I do like it with the yellow. So I do recommend adding some yellow because it's so cool. This is beautiful. Nice work. I love this. Great job. Nice mock-up. All right, so here's our ads. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay, so that's about the size we would see this Instagram ad. That looks good. This yellow is getting a little lost, but I think it's okay because it's not the most important text and it's visible enough. I think we're good. Yeah, this looks cool. I like this eye frame better than the thorns. And because it does go with your original logo a little bit more. I think the thorns here are fine. Um, yeah, it was just like that massive amount of thorns was just making me feel a little prickly. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in for this banner. Oh, you know what? This leaderboard banner, the dimensions are incorrect. It's the other way around. So the leaderboard's going to be wide and not very tall. Just so you know, they're flipped, okay? So here's your Instagram mock-up. It's perfect. Very nice. So here we have our wide skyscraper. Okay, so this one is also flipped. This one's going to be 160 wide and 600 tall. So maybe this is just, I think we just got these mixed up. This is the skyscraper because this looks like the correct dimensions at 160 by 600. All right, so this skyscraper looks really cool, and this long, tall logo is working really nicely. The only thing is there is no date. It doesn't say tonight, and it also doesn't say how much. So if you could add those instead of what come one, come all, if you could maybe instead say tonight free entry, that would fix that up right there. And then for this one, this is the leaderboard ad, and it's going to be about this, maybe this big on a computer. So that works. And so same thing here. We just need to know when and how much on there because we do have room. Great. I do recommend bumping this up a little bit so it's at least at the same cap height as this one, kind of falling on that line there. I think that'll work. Good. And then this is our square. I'm going to zoom out because that's a little smaller. That's going to look like that. So this one, because it's small, I am losing this text here. So I'm wondering if you could take out that banner and just list the text that says where, when, and how much. Almost like you do here, but just, with that info. I don't know. You decide. You make good decisions. So I'll leave that up to you. So then this is a mobile banner. This is going to be on a cell phone, and it's going to look about this size on the cell phone. So as you can see, we do lose this text. It becomes pretty illegible. So if there's a way, this horizontal logo looks really cool, but we just need that other information more, and it needs to be bigger so that we can read it. But I think there's room there to do that. With these digital ads, I don't care so much about the margins. I really care about margins on printed things. So I'm very picky about that on printed stuff. But on these, it's okay if you bump up Madame Nirvana a little bit more to make room for a font that's about 2 to 4 sizes larger than what you have there. Okay, excellent. All right, and here is your. That's perfect. This is a great mock-up with your banner. And then great mock-up with your skyscraper. Yes, that's perfect. Good. Great. So we just need a mock-up with this little mobile banner. So that'll be like a picture of a cell phone, kind of like this, or like a blog page on a phone that you're looking at. Okay. Thanks so much, Eduardo. Next up is Larky. I'm going to zoom out here. Great job. You gave me the trimmed version and the version with the bleeds. Okay, so these never mind, I'm good. Okay. So hold on. Are these two different? No, we're good. Jeez, I'm all over the place. So I see 3 colors, and that makes me so very happy. We have Owen Circus really big here, and that's where my eye goes first. Insane Stunts is second. Then I go to Petrack Park on September 23rd. Good, great. So this red is really stealing the attention because of the contrast, that it's creating versus this light blue on the creamy background isn't creating as much contrast. So I think that's why my eye went to the park before it went to that larger date, but that's okay. And then because I think these two pieces of information weigh the same as far as importance. And then down here we've got contortionism and juggling. All right. Great. Oh, these are fun. Nice job. That's so cute. I love that idea. All right. So I do love this seal so much that I want to see it bigger. I just love it. I mean, while this is nice, that logo is really great, and I feel like there is room up here, and his tail could even kind of fall over this line here, and you could bump September over a little bit. It's totally up to you if you wanted to do that. Other than that, like you could just get rid of the Owen circle down here and just make your seal larger and then leave these guys here. Then these ornaments are really beautiful. I would like to see this ornament up in this corner. You know what I mean? And this ornament up in this corner, or maybe use the ornaments a little more in these different sections. You know what I mean? Like kind of just duplicate them again, or you can kind of play with that. Or you could play with these horizontal rules. Instead of them just being one thick line, they could be thinner, like the ornamentation. And you could double them or triple them, or you could curl the ends. There's a lot of little things like that. The typography itself looks good. There's some a bit of kerning right here that I'm not stoked on. I like how these align. But I think that, sorry, I was just eyeballing it. I don't think these guys aligning, like the U and the N aligning, is as important as spreading out the R, C, and the U equally. So right now, just visually, I'm squinting my eyes, and I think that this space is too tight, and I think this space is okay. If you could move R and C over closer to the U and then move the 3 of them closer to the S, I think that would fix this spacing here. You might have to reassess this spacing as you're doing it, okay? But leaving the C and the O aligned and these 2 S's aligned, that's important. But spreading these 4 letters in between out nice and visually equal, that's gonna really help that, okay? Everything else looks good, yes. And I do think you need a rule or some sort of dividing, maybe another one of these perforation little lines above the O's here, okay? Or the beach ballos. Excellent. Lovely. Let's look at the rest. Let me zoom out. Okay. So this is the mailer. Oh, okay. Postcard. Okay, so I think there was a little confusion on the mailer. So if you can go revisit that, it's supposed to be more of a brochure that folds up into 3 panels, okay? Um, yeah, and so I wanted you to have your poster on one side, and the other side needs to be 3 panels where the top 2 panels are flipped upside down. And that's where you'll have your stamp and address will be in the center panel upside down. And then you could have one of the panels be an incentive that's like this is a free pass for a child, or free popcorn, something like that. You already do have your incentive on your poster, so it could be that same kind of incentive there. Okay, and then just read what is required for that. So then your mock-up will be of a 3 panel brochure essentially that's two-sided, so you can see both sides of the brochure opened up and folded out. Okay, so now here's your postcard. So a postcard is going to be, this part works. We get a little small down here. So like I said, if you want to just get rid of Owen Circus, since it already says it nice and large there, and just have your seal as big as possible because it's so cute, then you could do that. If you fix your kerning up here, make sure you fix it here as well. And then, with the postcard, check that again. It's going to be rotated like a negative 90 degrees so that the stamp is here and the address, sorry, I guess on a postcard, the address would be down here. And then on this side would be all the writing. All right, and this is a good mock-up to use once you correct that second side. So here is our leaderboard banner. So I'm going to zoom that into that. This doesn't look like the right dimension. Yeah, no, it is. I'm sorry. So that works. I'm just looking to see if all the info is there. Good. Good. So I think these could be a little closer to this. And then you could put a 4th line of text that says something like fun for all, or, something else there. I think that this could be smaller so that it aligns right underneath this. This kerning looks really good here, so that's good. Excellent. Here's your mock-up. Great, perfect mock-up. And then let me zoom out. This is going to be your skyscraper, so that's going to be about this size on a screen. So we are losing legibility down here and almost losing it here. I'm not sure if it's because it's all caps that's making it difficult to read. So maybe you could kind of list these next to each other, like contortionism, juggling, fire breathing, acrobatics, that kind of thing. So, and you could just put little red bullet points between the ones that are on the same line together, and then you could make that text larger so we could read that a little bit more easily. But I love this. Great. Excellent. Okay, and that's perfect mock-up for that. Now here is our square. So that square is going to be even smaller like this. And once we are losing that there too, so you might have to choose maybe the top 4 and make it a larger text if you want to keep some of that, okay? But this is still legible. And then I'll zoom back in so we can see our mock-up. And that's a perfect mock-up for that. Great work. All right, and then here is our mobile leaderboard. I'll zoom out so you can see about that size. It's actually going to be about that size. It's tiny on the phone. So we lose all this here, so you just got to make that bigger, okay? But that is a perfect mock-up for that. Great work. Here is our Instagram ad, so that's about that size, and that looks good. We can read everything. I'd like to see the seal on here because there's lots of room on this ad for that, okay? It's a really big ad, as you can see. And I think the seal is what's going to really capture people's attention. The logo looks really good, though, too. All right. All right. Thanks so much, Larky. All right. Next up is Ardian. Let's zoom out. Look at this. Woo! Love it. So I'm happy to see you got one that's trimmed, a poster that's trimmed. And then this one has your bleed lines and your, I'm sorry, not your bleed lines, your crop marks and your color bars. But what needs to happen here is that this background texture needs to extend past these crop lines. Okay, we've got to go all the way out to your bleed lines um, in there. So I'm not sure if you produce this after as like a, you know what I mean? But it's just not, it's not exported. I can tell that it's not exported from Illustrator or I'm sorry, Illustrator or InDesign because it doesn't have, uh, it's not the same way that as it would look if it was. Okay. All right. So, but that's okay. So you tried. Let me get this in there we go. So this looks really cool. So I do see, I'm going to say I see 3 colors. It might be 4 colors. Is there black in this, or is that just a very dark brown? I'm hoping it's not black, only because the assignment said no black. All right. So my eyes go to the Twins Enchantment logo here, and I'm sorry, the Twins of Enchantment, and then goes up to a Royal Theater, and then Valencia and Vidima is next, and then 2 months, and then at the door, like $10 at the door is where it goes next. So if that's the order of information you wanted our eyes to go through, then that's how it went through. If it's not, then you need to make the adjustments to the font sizes and stuff to make it, go the way to lead us through the design the way you want us to go through the design. Okay. So I think this looks so cool. I love those horizontal rules. I love all these little ornaments and like these little details here. Really pretty. The texture in the background is really nice. I think it's just a really nice color palette. And I'm just reading some of these things down here. Really cool. I love all this little stuff. It's great. This sense of urgency is really fun. This detail is nice, really nice. Oh, and these here, cute. Yes, very nice. Great work. If it's not 3 colors, because I see sort of a maroon here, a pink here, a salmony here, salmon here, salmon here, and I think this is black. If you could please just, get that down to 3 colors, that would be great. And now here we have our mailer. All right, so this looks good. These dimensions. I'm not crazy about this design running into the banner, but there's room to nudge these over, closer to the edges if you wanted to fix that. Is a Royal Theater more important than Valencia and Vidima? That's what I'm wondering, because it's really stealing the show with this size font. So I just want you to decide if that's what you want. If you want Valencia and Vidima to be the stars, the number one thing that we read first, then this just needs to be bigger than this, okay? Because this is so much contrast with this very dark font on this light background, whereas this is a lighter font, technically. It just has a dark drop shadow, okay? But all this is looking really good here. I like these being filled in with the pinky salmon color. That's nice. Looks good. So now this side of the mailer, I want you to go back and watch that video. This is going to be 3 panels, right? And the middle panel is going to be the address label, like the printed address and the stamp area, all that stuff. And then these top 2 are going to be flipped upside down, and then you'll have a bottom panel. And the bottom panel, I'd like to challenge you to have some sort of like an incentive, to like either bring this with you to the show or call this number or, scan this QR code kind of thing for some sort of a discount or a free item at the show, that kind of thing. Okay. All right. And then so for your postcard, the poster is supposed to be here. And so I'm not sure what that image is in the background. I can't tell what it is. It looks like some buildings and trees, maybe. So I recommend, they didn't really do a lot of low opacity stuff back then because they didn't really have the capability to do that. So um, I don't recommend having a low opacity image as a background image for this Victorian stuff. You also have this amazing logo, and you have just these photos of these ladies. Like you could take the photos out and use them nice and big instead of the whole logo if you didn't want to. But I don't see Twins of Enchantment on here at all, and it really should be. But this is nice. This side is really cool, and I love it. So that's good to go. This side is just not really feeling as on brand as the rest. Okay. Now this one is um, your leaderboard. So I'm going to zoom out. It's going to be about this size on a computer screen. So that looks good. And I'm seeing $10 here. Did I see $10 anywhere else? Hold on. Yeah, $10. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. Okay, now here is our skyscraper. So that's going to be about this size. Everything's pretty legible. We do lose, the word twins is starting to get a little hard to read, and of is definitely gone. This is getting a little hard to read. There's room to make it a tiny bit bigger, and same with the word and, but everything else is good. Great. And this is our square. Oops, sorry, let me zoom out. Beep, beep, beep. So that's going to be about this big on a computer screen. And you can see we lose all this text here is too hard to read. Same with this. Don't miss this rear attraction is a tiny bit hard for me to read, but not too bad. And is gone as well. So, and then once again, we've got that background image. So with this one, there's not really room to put photos of the ladies in there, but that's okay. If you just have your background texture that you used on your poster, that'll be enough, and it will help with the contrast for this line of text. Oh, there's a line of text below it that is completely illegible as well. So just edit stuff out, and make sure what's important is in there. And then if you needed more room, you don't have to spell out $10. You can use your little $10 like you did on that other one. So this is our mobile banner, and this is about the size that's going to be. So as you can see, it's pretty hard to read. So I would maybe just take their faces out and stick them next to each other to make them nice and big. Just get the logo out of there. And then 2 months is really huge, and I don't know if it needs to be that big. I'd rather see the words Twins of Enchantment larger than both of these two things here. That info is more important. And then these two rows of text are totally illegible, so make sure that we have the cost and the dates in there at a size that we can read, okay? All right, and now here's our nice big Instagram ad, and that's going to be about, about that size. So we can read everything nice and easily. We have lots of room for this great logo. That all works. That works well. Perfect. Great. So here are some mock-ups. Let me zoom in. So this is the postcard mock-up. So this is a good mock-up. Once you change the front, then just update the mock-up. This is our Instagram mock-up, and that works. Come on. Oh, and that's the last page. All right, so we need some mock-ups for those digital ads. You're going to have a mock-up of like somebody like a blog on a computer monitor, and that's where you'll have the skyscraper, the leaderboard, and the 250 by 250 square. And then you'll have another mock-up of a cell phone with like an article on the cell phone, and that's where you'll have your mobile banner kind of in the middle of that blog post or whatever. And then you need a brochure mock-up that shows both sides of a 3-panel brochure with your updated outside panels. And you need a poster mock-up of the big poster. All right, thanks so much. All right, next up is All-You-Mide. Let's zoom out. All right, yay! Good job on your 2 posters, one trimmed and one with the trim marks and bleeds. Excellent, thank you so much. So this looks great, so clean. I see technically 4 colors because the background is a 4th color, but I'm okay with it because it looks really nice. I love the yellow on here with that sort of mauvey purple is so pretty. And then this looks to be like like a navy blue. I'm going to zoom in. Yes, those 3 colors are looking really good together. Awesome combination. Sorry, can you just work with me here, Acrobat? Okay, there we go, got it. So, yeah, I love this version of the logo. Looks really nice. Yeah, it looks good. So let me tell you what I see in which order as far as information hierarchy goes. So the focal point is definitely the logo with the horns, and that's where my eye goes first. Then it kind of reads down the whole poster. So it goes to Come One, Come All, then Melodies, One Night Only this Saturday evening, and then back up to Grand Spectacle. So I'm not sure if that's the order that you wanted. What I'm not getting, the only thing I'm getting that's like important information is the name of the event or, the attraction, which is Phantom Horn, which is the most important. So that being the focal point is perfect. But then Come One, Come All isn't really the who, what, when, where, and cost, And same with melodies. It's sort of the what, but I think this Saturday evening is very important. And then I don't see the place. Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized that Melodies is the name of the place. Okay. Don't listen. I got it. So that is important. Okay. Got it. And then do we have a cost on here? Do, do, do. Oh, there it is. It's tiny down here. Okay. Hold on. Is the Grand Pavilion of Dogon's Royal Circus actually the location? No. It says where Melodies. I need some clarification. Is Melodies the name of a venue? Oh, no, it's not. It says where melodies soar in a quick. Okay, all right. See how confused I am? We got to clarify this for people like me who can't figure things out. So, okay. So I think the Grand Pavilion of Dogon's Royal Circus is the location. Sorry, I'm trying to just highlight this line of text. And then it's $10 and children are half price. So this information needs to be larger than the words where melodies soar and extraordinary becomes reality. Okay. And then, so we got the who, the what, the where, the when. When is it? We have this Saturday evening. Okay, I'm fine with that. Usually we do want a specific date, but that's okay. So that's important to stay big. Yeah. So while I love all this treatment of these fonts that you did, I mean, of the text that you did here, they're just kind of stealing the show and making things a little confusing as you just saw me go through. So maybe if you could apply that to these things down here instead, I think that would really help a lot. And like it's really nicely balanced, and I see why you made the decisions that you made. Just maybe instead, why don't you throw this Grand Pavilion of Dogon's Royal Circus up here in place of Come One, Come All, and just make Come One, Come All the next line down. It can be a little bigger than To Witness the Most Marvelous Display, to get us to like read that part. And then the general admission, if you wanted to sort of break this up, could be below here, and one night only this Saturday evening could kind of be together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then we have these horizontal rules that they're okay. I mean, you had some flowers in your logo that I think you could sort of sprinkle in to certain parts, as little pretty ornaments. And then in your original logo, you had at the end of your one of your horizontal rules, you had a little ball. And I think that you could put those in here too, in these rules, just to make it, even more fun. Then we have a dotted line here, and it's the only one. So I don't know. I think if you want to use a dotted line, maybe sprinkle another one in somewhere else, or just make them a little bit more consistent. And then down here we have step into the world of the fantastical and witness the phantom horn where melody meets mystery. So you have a dash here, and I think so we want, if you want that to be sort of like working as almost like a colon or a semicolon, I mean, then you want to use an M dash there. And so to create the M dash, it's going to be a longer dash. You hold down Option Shift and then hit the dash key, and that'll make it an M dash, and that'll be correct punctuation for that. Okay, excellent. Let's look at your other stuff. All right. Let me just move on to see what I'm looking at here. Okay, so these are the 3 panels of the brochure. And then this is the back of the brochure. Hold on. I'm not sure. Or is this the postcard? Let me get to your mock-ups real fast and see if it shows me. Oh, there's no mock-ups. Oh no. Okay. All right. So I think that these are the 3 panels for the brochure. And let me just show you what I'm looking for that, if I can find someone. Okay, so for the brochure, you're going to have the inside of the brochure be your poster, which I think you did already have like that. You just kind of edit it down so that it fits the dimensions. Then for the back of the brochure, the 3 panels are together, but the top 2 panels are flipped upside down because when you fold it up, that's just how it works out. So the center upside down panel is going to be your address panel, and it needs to be very specific the way that where everything is placed on there. And so you'll read that module and see what it says on the template there. And then you'll have the bottom panel will be right side up. And on that bottom panel, you can use some sort of an incentive to get people to come. So it could be, this is, tear this panel or tear this off and bring it in as free entry, or for some free popcorn, or as $2 off your entry, that kind of thing. Then the postcard, the address side of the postcard is going to be sideways so that it's a landscape layout. And then the other side will be a portrait layout of your poster, once again resized to fit those dimensions. And then the stamp always goes in the top right corner of the postcard. This one doesn't have to be your postcard doesn't have to be this like technical version like this one is. If you don't want it to be, this one could be more, it could be more of like a gift that you buy someone. That's like a collector's item, like a vintage postcard, so you could leave the address side plain. The address always goes over on the right side of the postcard, and then they write their message on the left side. It could be something like that. This one is more of a postcard to be sent as a marketing tool. So that's why there's not really a message on the address side, but it's all on the other side, okay? All right, so let's come back in. So I'm just going to look at the information on here. Okay, yes. So it looks like you didn't have really the poster at all. It looks like you just did the 3 panels, but didn't do the other side of the brochure. So these three panels are pretty short. They're only like maybe 3 inches tall. So this text is going to be fairly small on there. It is legible at this size, but um, you've got a lot of width to work with. And you also have all the information is already on the other poster side. So you can really, you know, um, use one of these messages here and just make it gigantic on this panel. And same with here, um, like that other thing, the other part of the message could be really big on the bottom. But remember that center panel needs to be uh, um, to the address specs that are on the template in that module. Okay. And then here's your postcard. So I'm not stoked on these blue filler kind of um, header and footer margin things. You just have such a pretty poster design that you can still use all of those elements, all those horizontal rules, all that fun typography. If you were to add in the flowers, you could use those here. You could, instead of making the trumpets, they don't have to stay with the logo on this stuff. They could be up here and down here. There's room to play there so that you can make your logo as wide as you'd like because this is also kind of a small canvas to work on. And then, like I mentioned, you're going to want to rotate all this information -90 degrees so that it's a landscape orientation, but your stamp will go over on the top right. If I was to rotate it, it would be the top right. Okay, great. Now here is our leaderboard. This is about the size it would look like on a computer. And so with this, we're wasting a lot of space with these blue boxes. It's also not very centered, like this one isn't as wide as this one. So we have room to make your logo longer. You can even use your horizontal logo if you have one and put the horn below it or whatever. But that horn is really eye-catching, especially since it's that pretty yellow. It's gonna, add some nice pop. We're also losing that purple color that was nice in your branding. And then this information is pretty small, so we want to make sure that we know where it is and how much it costs. That's a little bit more, that's very important, so that needs to be there, okay? Larger, nice and large. This is your small square, I believe, so I'm going to zoom out to show you what that looks like. It's going to be about that big on a computer screen, so I would get rid of one of the trumpets and just make this information larger and get rid of all this extra blue that's not really serving a purpose. This is our skyscraper, and that's about the size it'll be. So this is all fairly legible. This is a bit tiny, but it is legible, but that is really small. So this is not legible right here, this one line of text. But I'm happy to see the trumpets back in here. You can use your horizontal rules and flowers in here as well. There's room to make things larger. You don't have to have super wide margins on these digital ads as you do in print stuff. So feel free to make Phantom Horn as big as possible. And once again, we need the location and the price bigger and the date. I don't see that very large in here. Okay, great. I do like the Learn More button though. That's nice touch for sure. So same with here. This one is your mobile banner, and this is about the size it's going to be. And this is intriguing. I think maybe if you had the horn down here and you had maybe a musical circus and then Learn More, that would be cool. We don't need these blue edges. They're not doing anything for you. I think instead maybe the location or date is more important than should be in here, okay? Now this is our large Instagram ad that's going to look about this big. And so we have lots of room on here. We don't need all this extra stuff here. We just need the top 5 things, So make that Phantom Horn logo huge, as big as you can. Say this Saturday evening, the Grand Pavilion, the cost, and I think that's really maybe this bit of text here, what did you say on this one? A musical circus would be really cool. That's like a very concise way of summing it up, and I think it's really nice. And you could even have a button on here as well. Well, I don't think you'd have a button on a YouTube or on the Instagram ad, but yeah. All right, and then I don't see your mock-ups, so you need mock-ups for all of these things, okay? All right, thanks so much.